What up, guys? UFC on Fox. Nate Diaz versus Michael Johnson. I called it like it was. I said Michael Johnson looked kind of nervous in the weigh-ins. If you look at the weigh-ins, he's sitting there like looking around, and I knew he was going to lose that fight just because clearly he was overlooking Nate Diaz. Like, Nate Diaz is garbage. Nate Diaz isn't that great. Nate Diaz was losing when he got leg kicked, but Nate Diaz came back with a lot of boxing. And that's what wins him the fights, baby, is a tremendously good boxing. And I don't know what happened to the JDS fight. JDS gets cracked when he's fighting against Alistair Overeem, but I still think Alistair Overeem was winning. That fight was kind of weird, but Alistair Overeem, once he cracked him and was bombing on JDS, I think JDS was getting back to his feet and wasn't knocked out, wasn't completely rocked and hurt like I think it was Mazzagatti or whoever was the referee. The fight shouldn't have been stopped because he was getting back to his feet. It was not a justifiable stoppage. And then you go into the main event against Cowboy Donald Cerrone and Rafael dos Anjos. Was that a justifiable stoppage? Because I'll put it to you this way. I'll ask you this. Look at Chris Weidman's fight versus Luke Rockhold. He was on his back getting elbowed and he was bloodied and he was getting totally dominated, and they didn't stop the fight in the third round. Then you go to the main event of UFC on Fox and they stop the fight when he's doing this. He's turtled up, but he's blocking himself, and even Dominic Cruz says, you have to let him fight. You gotta let him get back up, because I think he would have been able to get back up and recuperate and do some damage in that fight. I think it was an unjustifiable stoppage. I'm a Cowboy Donald Cerrone fan. I love both fighters. I think Rafael dos Anjos is a great fighter. I think he wants to fight Conor McGregor. I think Conor McGregor would be a great fight for him. But Rafael dos Anjos versus Cowboy was an unjustifiable stoppage. I don't think he was winning. I think he was dominating the fight, but he wasn't at the point that Donald Cerrone was just going to just lay there and get bombed on. Because he was sitting there like this. His hand was here, and the punches were coming like this. And he was blocking a lot of the shots. And you can go back and look at a lot of older fights. Brock Lesnar getting whooped on by Shane Carwin, and they could have stopped that fight easily, but they let the fight go. So, at the end of the day, do you think sometimes the referees make a mistake and they have to live with it, or they made a mistake and they go, well, I fucked up, but it is what it is? I mean, Donald Cerrone is a tough dude, but a lot of people say he cracks under the pressure of big fights. I think Donald Cerrone should win a bunch of fights, come back, and win the title. I was calling for Donald Cerrone win. My prediction was wrong, but it just sucks that I think he kind of got ripped off because he was getting bombed on, yes, but he was in the position of blocking. I mean, it's the same thing when Renan Barão in their second fight against Uriah Faber was getting bombed on, and Uriah Faber's holding his hand up saying, yes, I'm in the fight, and he's getting whooped on, and he holds his hand up, thumbs up, saying, I'm still here, I'm still knowing what's going on, and they stop the fight. So sometimes I think referees prematurely stop the fight. Sometimes Herb Dean is a great referee and stops the fight justifiable, and sometimes he prematurely stops it. Sometimes you're in the moment, you don't really know what's going on, but at the end of the day, Donald Cerrone's fight shouldn't have been stopped. I think the JDS fight shouldn't have been stopped, even though they both did get rocked. I think Junior Dos Santos was still trying to get back to his feet, and I still think Donald Cerrone was protecting himself. Like I said, look at the Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold fight. That fight could have easily been stopped. I could see that fight because he was sitting there doing this, flailing his hands and getting elbowed, and Donald Cerrone is just blocking himself. So as always, I'm Trevor, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys over on the MMA Underground Facebook page. Thanks for watching. As always, deuces.